We've all been there. A moment when you've reached a crossroads and don't know which decision to make. The decision seems obvious to everyone else, but to you, it is more than that. To you, it is something that will forever change who you are. As you continue to mull over the choices, doubt begins to creep into your mind. Fear fills the room as you lie down to catch your breath and calm yourself down. Am I making the right decision? Just a couple months ago, I felt that doubt overwhelm my body. The fear of making that decision haunted my thoughts. Days went by and I couldn't figure out what to do. Evening came. My room felt cold and empty as I sat and pondered to myself. Do I continue applying to medical school, or should I go all in on YouTube? The indecision, the constant self-doubt, the isolation, the loneliness, and the anxiety about what would happen truly paralyzed me. As I lay there in bed, despair clutching my body, I felt hopeless. I genuinely thought I couldn't keep on going like this anymore. Something had to change, but I didn't know what. Right when I thought no hope in the world would save me, I recalled a story I had read a year before. The story of a man who would change the course of human history. It was 334 BC. 120 ships carrying 75,000 men crossed the Hellespont. Before them lay the most powerful military force in the known world, the Great Persian Empire. Vastly outnumbered and facing the might of an empire that stretched 2 million miles and housed half the world's population within its borders, fear, doubt, and indecision was heavy amongst the Macedonian fleet. As they closed in on the shores of Persia, and it dawned on the men the Herculean task that lay before them. The great general Parmenion turned to his 22-year-old commander and said, "O Alexander, is it not better to turn the ships back to Macedon? We have subjugated the Thebans, the Illyrians, and even the mighty Athenians consider you their sovereign. What need do we have for the Persians?" As he gazed upon the sandy shores and the vast lines that lay before them, Alexander turned to his general and said, "Burn the ships, Parmenion. We go home in Persian ships, or we die." During each crossroads, you inherently know what to do, but let complacency rule you. You lack the courage to push through, knowing it is either you burn the boats and rise to the occasion, or you settle with mediocrity. And one of the gravest dangers in life is not aiming too high and failing. Instead, it is aiming low and succeeding. Why do you think few people attain extraordinary lives? It is because it is just so easy to settle for a good life, rather than putting in the work to make said life great.
The struggle and the size of the struggle you're facing, along with how important it is and how important you feel it is deep in your heart, is directly correlated to how successful and how happy you're going to feel all of the time.
So will you settle for a level of despair and call it happiness? Do you think those fleeting moments of happiness are all there is to life? Can you really afford to wait for tomorrow's promises when stepwise progress can be made with the tools at hand today? Life has its moments of ease and difficulty. We welcome ease, yet bemoan difficulty. We fail to realize that progress and great achievement can only be achieved by overcoming said difficulty. We tend to forget in life that it doesn't matter what happens to you or where you come from. It matters what you do with what happens and what you've been given. And thus, never forget that within every obstacle you have dramatized into a disaster, there is a great opportunity to improve your condition. For it is through these difficult choices, it is through these obstacles that God asks us to rise to the occasion and answer said question. Deliberation, doubt, indecision, and fear are never the answer. The only answer is action. Take action and know that even if you fail, that failure can show you the way by showing you what not to do. It is only by facing the seemingly impossible that it becomes possible. So will you sit down and continue to be fearful of what comes next? Or will you rise to face your destiny and achieve what God has written for you?
As is yours.
In those moments when you think that you cannot keep going, that these moments of hard work will never pay off, focus on what is in front of you right now. Ignore what it represents or what it means, or why it happened to you. To argue, to complain, or worse, to give up. These are choices. Choices that more often than not do nothing to get us across the finishing line. As Robert Frost and Ryan Holiday have both stated, the best way out is always through. And it is true, for insofar as I can see, there is no way out but through